Hi guys, and welcome back to Keep Smiling Adventures, and in today's video we are going to be doing a before you ride because I have just got back from doing the Sarn Helen bikepacking route, following the Roman roads from North Wales to South Wales. So in this video we're going to be going over all the things that you will need to know, what I thought about the route, giving it a difficulty rating, what bike, wild camping, everything you should need to know. Apologies about my voice, still got a bit of a cold. So let's get into today's video. This is the before you ride the Sarn Helen bikepacking route. Let's do it. The Sarn Helen refers to many old stretches of the Roman roads in Wales, some of which are now part of the modern road network, and some still traceable, and some that have been lost and are untraceable. This route will give you a chance to take on an epic Welsh coast to coast, from north to south or vice versa, with some breathtaking views and some lung-busting climbs, fast rocky descents as well as smooth, fast rolling gravel roads, and everything in between. This route will give you a chance to explore rural Wales, a ride that will test you at times and make you wonder what you got yourself in for. This is Wales, and Wales can be pretty unforgiving at times, with lots of rain and strong winds being very common. This ride is around 180 miles or 290 kilometers, although there is longer versions available. This route uses lots of different types of ways, from actual roads to bridleways, forest tracks, single track, and of course some old Roman roads. So having a dedicated GPS unit on your bike for mapping will be a big help for navigation. You will get to feel what it would have been like to traverse sections of Wales on real old Roman roads that are thousands of years old. This route is for anybody who wants a good 3 to 6 days of adventure, with some challenging but rewarding riding along the way. You will need to be able to deal with the challenges that rides like these occur, such as the unpredictable weather. This is Wales, and it has a habit of going from sunny beautiful days to a windy rainstorm in a matter of moments. As you head up to the higher sections of this ride, the conditions can be completely different from when down low. So some experience of dealing with this ever-changing conditions is going to be very helpful for a bikepacking trip like this. This ride uses lots of different types of trails, and although for the most part they are mostly rideable, albeit with some steep, lung-busting climbs, there are times where you will need some good bike handling skills to get over the rougher, rocky and steep terrain. If you are looking for a chilled out ride, then this probably isn't going to be for you, but if you like to challenge yourself and have some experience being outdoors for multiple days at a time, then you will definitely want to give this ride a go. This route does have a fair few road slogs, meaning you will have to be comfortable riding on roads with cars. Mostly the road slogs are quieter roads, however there are a few stretches that might be a bit busier at certain times of the day or year. Though there are pubs and shops scattered around this route, I think it is a good idea to take some kind of water filter, as stops can be quite a distance apart. Especially if it is hot, you will want to stay hydrated, and there are plenty of streams along this route that can help you with that. Also, you will need to physically be able to pick your bike up to get over a couple of obstacles from fallen trees and a couple of gates. Best bike for this ride to give you the best possible chance of riding as much of the route will be a hardtail with fast rolling tyres for the road sections. However, this ride could definitely be done on a gravel bike, although there will be the odd sections on some of the more rocky sections that you will feel underbiked and may need to use caution and probably hike some sections. However, as there are a fair few sections of road slogs, the gravel bike will definitely give you an advantage here. I think if you are wanting to do this on a gravel bike, you will want the biggest tyres you can fit. Probably a minimum of 43mm, but bigger the better to give you the best chance. Also, mountain bike gearing is a must. If you are deciding to ride this route on a gravel bike, just go careful on some of the descents as they are steep and very rocky. If you want to wild camp, then you will have lots of opportunities at some amazing spots as you head out into the most remote parts of this ride. However, depending on the weather around the time you decide to ride this route, a lot of the places can be quite boggy or exposed to the elements. Although there are a few sections of woodlands along the way, I'd probably opt for a tent to give you the most options of finding somewhere suitable. But remember, in Wales, wild camping isn't really allowed without the landowner's permissions, so if you do decide to do it, set up late, leave early and leave no trace. And just try to only do it in the really remote areas. But if you want to have a bit of luxury, then there are plenty of B&Bs along the route, but you will need to pre-book these as early as you can in the summer months, as places like Snowdonia National Parks and the Brecons National Park can get quite busy. Getting to and from the start of this ride by public transport is relatively straightforward, as on each side there is a train station. If starting in Conway, you will be using Transport for Wales trains and will most likely want to book your bike beforehand, as they have limited spaces. If starting in Swansea, you might find yourself coming in on a Great Western Railway train, which are notoriously terrible for how they do bike spaces. So you might find fitting a mountain bike or even a big tyre gravel bike a bit harder. You will also need to book your bike on these trains before travel. The difficulty of this ride is going to be a 7.5 out of 10. Based on some of the remoteness of this ride, you do need to be ready for the unexpected and have a bit of experience with being outside for multiple days at a time. However, you do get the opportunities to restock and regroup along the way as you come through towns and villages, with a couple of bike shops along route if you need. Although this route is mostly rideable, when you are off-road, there is some challenging terrain along the way with some hiker bike sections and some steep, rocky and technical trails, so you will be wanting to have a good level of bike handling skill for this route. Good brakes, mountain bike gearing and a good raincoat are all essential for this ride. My final rating for this ride, based on my experience of riding this route, is going to be an 8 out of 10. The route has a lot of fun stuff to ride while still taking you through the emotions that a trip like this brings, meaning you will get to the end, you get a real sense of achievement. This route does have a fair few road slogs, which depending on who you are, may find that a bit boring or a relief to be able to get some simple miles under your belt. After some of the more grueling parts of this ride, the route will test your resolve and have you smiling with the biggest grin on your face when you're flying down the descents, and there is definitely something quite magical travelling across some of the ancient Roman roads, thinking of all the journeys that were made before you thousands of years ago. Guys, there we have it. There is the rating, the before you ride the Sarn Helen bikepacking route, north to south coast, coast to coast bikepacking trip. Now, it obviously wasn't a super easy trip. It definitely had its hard parts, especially with that good old-fashioned Welsh weather and wind, but I had a lot of fun on it, and it is just generally quite like this magical feeling when you are on them Roman roads, and you can tell they are old Roman roads, and just like feeling of all them journeys that were taken along them roads thousands of years ago. It's just such a cool, nice feeling. Definitely a route that you should definitely check out if you want to challenge yourself. So that is the before you ride the Sarn Helen route. If you haven't seen the video, I'll put a card up there for the full journey, and until next time, keep smiling, enjoy the adventure. Peace.